Hello guys, welcome back to our channel, and in this session I'm going to tell you about the routing in an API gateway. Routing is basically routing the request from client to a different backend service. What is API gateway routing? Routing in an API gateway refers to the process of directing incoming API requests to the appropriate backend services or endpoints. This simply means that API has a single entry point, which means it may have some functionality to direct different requests to the different app servers at the backend, and that is called as routing. So if you provide a route in a link or whatever the request you are giving to the API gateway, it will just forward that request based on a routing to the different app servers or API servers. Routing is critical in case of a microservices or a multiple API servers. What are different types of routing strategies? So we have a path-based routing, host-based routing, header-based routing, and query parameter routing. So let's look into each routing one by one. First, we have a path-based routing. The path-based routing is a method in an API gateway where requests routed based on a URL path structure. Now on the screen you can see I have two routes, that is a home and contact, and based on those route it will just go to this is a home page and this is a contact page. It enables directing traffic to the specific backend services for a paths like home or a contact. This method helps organize API efficiently under a single gateway and supports microservices architecture. This simply means that I have written only one Flask Python script, and in that I am mentioning two routes for a different services. Path-based routing improves clarity, scalability, and efficient management of API endpoints. Next, we have a host-based routing. In this method, API gateway where the requests are routed based on a host name or the domain in the request. On a screen you can see I have a header which has a host, and depending on a host I am routing that request. So right now it is just printing, but apart from this print statement you can connect to different app server or a database connection depending on that host. It allows traffic to be directed to the specific backend services for a domain like api.newdomain.com or www.newdomain.com. This method is ideal for managing multiple application or services under a different names or a domains. So let's say I have a multiple domains and I want to maintain those all the domains via single API gateway. And this method is suitable. Host-based routing ensures seamless domain-specific traffic handling and improves service organization. Using a different host, I will be able to track what users are connected to those hosts. Next, we have a header-based routing. Header-based routing is a method in an API gateway where requests are routed based on specific HTTP headers such as a user agent, authorization, or custom headers, or in this case, XRoute type. On a screen, you can see I am getting XRoute type, which is present in my header. And depending upon that route type, V1 or website, I am just forwarding my request or returning. So this script is a single script, and in that I am checking the headers of a different request. It enables directing traffic to different backend services based on a header values, providing flexibility for routing decision. So based on these values, I'm just transferring this request. This approach is useful for scenarios like handling different API versions, managing authentication, or routing based on a user roles. Header-based routing enhances request customization and allows more dynamic traffic management. Last but not least, we have a query parameter based routing. In this method, where the requests are routed based on a values of a query parameters in a URL, such as a version or a region, and in this case, we have a type. It enables directing traffic to a specific backend services depending on a query parameter present in the request. So in my request, I have a type, and depending on that type, I will forward my request to the different app servers. This approach is useful for handling the dynamic routes, API versioning, and filtering content based on a parameters. Query parameters based routing provides flexibility and efficient management of API request with the varying parameters, and it also provides a highly flexible request. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, you can just like the video, share our video and subscribe to our channel. Also press the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. If you have any questions, you can just drop them in a comment section. See you in the next video.